Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Hey, fellow truth seekers, I'm Justin.
And I'm Brandy, and together we'll be your guides on this spine-tingling journey through the unknown.
We dive headfirst into the eerie realms of cryptids, from Bigfoot to Loch Ness Monster.
And hold on tight, because we'll explore spine-chilling encounters with extraterrestrial beings and UFO sightings that will leave you questioning what's really out there.
Beyond the Shadows is not your average paranormal podcast. Our goal is simple: to shed light on the shadows that haunt our world and confront the unexplained with an open mind.
And for the skeptics, don't worry, we have something for you too. Our conspiracy theories will challenge your beliefs and make you question everything. So, if you're fascinated by the paranormal, yearn for chilling true crime stories, or crave the adrenaline rush of uncovering conspiracies,
join us on this hair-raising adventure as we journey beyond the shadows.
Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to another episode of the Identity Podcast on the Podmoth Media Network, your foray into the weird, wonky, and sometimes downright spooky. This week I bring you some interesting historical events, and it really brings new meaning to Arby's slogan, "We have the meats." They for sure had the meats. The Kentucky meat shower of 1876 stands as one of the most bizarre and unexplained phenomena in American history. On March 3, 1876, residents of a rural farm in Bath County, Kentucky, witnessed an event that seemed straight out of a science fiction story. Chunks of what appeared to be meat fell from the sky. While it only lasted a few minutes, the spectacle captured the imagination of a nation and sparked debates about the nature of the event, with theories ranging from the practical to the purely fantastical. In this episode, we'll take a closer look at the meat shower itself, its origins, the explanations offered, and its place in folklore history. The setting is Bath County, Kentucky. Bath County is a rural region in central Kentucky known for rolling hills, forests, and farmlands. In the mid-19th century, it was a quiet and relatively isolated area, with many of its residents relying on farming and agriculture for their livelihoods. Among the people who lived there was a woman named Mrs. Crouch, who lived on a farm near the town of Olympia, Kentucky. It was on her property that the mysterious event would unfold, capturing the attention of local residents and, eventually, the world. The event took place on a relatively quiet afternoon on March 3, 1876. Mrs. Crouch, who was outside with her daughter, suddenly saw what appeared to be pieces of meat falling from the sky. The chunks ranged in size, some reportedly as large as a man's hand. The meat-like substance fell for several minutes, covering a portion of the farm. And it was soon noticed by other locals, who witnessed the phenomenon firsthand. The meat that fell from the sky was described as having an unusual odor, which made it immediately clear to the observers that this was no ordinary weather event. The chunks were primarily red and had a fleshy appearance, leading some to speculate that it might be some form of animal tissue. However, the source of the meat was a mystery. Describing the meat, those who examined it were divided on their opinions. Some said it looked like beef, Others believed it resembled venison, and there were even reports of it being identified as mutton. The size of the chunks varied, ranging from small bits to larger slabs. The smell was noted as strong, but not entirely unpleasant, further perplexing those who came across it. Local newspapers quickly picked up the story, and it wasn't long before the word of the Kentucky meat shower spread across the country. The event was widely reported, and many journalists speculated about its cause. It was unlike anything anyone had seen before. Soon after the event, several scientific minds were drawn to the Kentucky meat shower, eager to understand what could have caused such a strange phenomena. While there was no definitive conclusion, there were several theories that emerged, some more plausible than others. The vulture theory. Now, one of the first and most widely discussed explanations was that vultures were somehow responsible for the meat shower. The idea was that vultures had scavenged a carcass, then flew high into the sky. While in flight, they may have regurgitated the meat, causing it to rain down on the farm. This theory was suggested by a number of observers who noted that vultures were common in the region. However, this explanation was soon criticized for multiple reasons. First, it seemed unlikely that vultures would regurgitate such a large quantity of meat at once. Second, there was no evidence that the meat was regurgitated from a single carcass, as vultures usually eat in small portions, and would not have a large enough volume of food to create such a shower. The meteorological theory. Another theory suggested that the meat had been carried into the sky by some sort of unusual weather phenomena, such as a tornado or a strange updraft, and then dropped back to Earth. The idea was that a large gust of wind or a mini tornado could have lifted the meat from the ground, possibly from a butchered animal, and then deposited it several miles away in a concentrated area. Plausible. However, the idea that meat would be lifted into the air and then fall in such an orderly fashion seemed implausible to most scientists. Furthermore, the absence of any other unusual weather patterns or atmospheric conditions weakened this theory. The biological theory. Some theorists suggested that the meat was the result of an unusual biological event. This theory posited that a meat-producing organism, perhaps a large colony of bacteria of some unknown organism, could have expelled the meat-like substance into the air. However, this was highly speculative and not widely accepted by scientists. The skyfall theory. This more far-fetched theory involved the possibility that the meat was, in fact, something that had come from the sky, perhaps even from space. This theory hinted at the possibility of meteors or cosmic debris containing biological material. The idea was based on the theory of panspermia, which suggests that life on Earth could have originated from microorganisms brought here by asteroids or comets. While it was an interesting concept, there was no evidence to support such an extraordinary claim. Fungal spores or slime mold. A more grounded, though still speculative theory suggested that the material was some form of fungal spore or a substance similar to slime mold, both of which can produce unusual growths that resemble meat. In this case, it was hypothesized that strong winds could have carried the spores over the farm, making it appear as if meat was falling from the sky. Despite the various theories, no conclusive explanation of the Kentucky meat shower emerged. Scientists remained baffled, and the incident faded from public attention in the years that followed. However, it did spark an enduring interest in oddball weather phenomena and unusual events in nature. Over the decades, the story of the Kentucky meat shower became a staple of American folklore, and a source of speculation for conspiracy theorists and enthusiasts of the strange and unusual. In the 20th and 21st centuries, the event has been re-examined with the benefit of modern scientific knowledge, but no theory has yet emerged that satisfactorily explains the phenomena. Some continue to speculate about extraterrestrial involvement, while others point to more down-to-earth causes, such as contamination from animal remains or other forms of biological material. The Kentucky meat shower remains an enduring topic in popular culture, often cited as one of the oddest and most unexplained occurrences in American history. It's inspired books, documentaries, and countless articles. The story also lives on in internet culture, where it's frequently discussed among fans of strange phenomena, creating a lasting connection between this quirky event and the public's fascination with the bizarre. Interestingly enough, it's become a metaphor for inexplicable or absurd occurrences, something that can be cited when describing a particularly strange or unusual event, especially in rural or isolated locations. The phrase, "a Kentucky meat shower," has even found its way into the various comedic and satirical contexts of literature, film, and television, cementing its place as part of America's mythos of strange and unexplained events. While the Kentucky meat shower may never fully be explained, it remains a fascinating chapter in the annals of American history. Whether a natural occurrence, the result of a rare meteorological phenomena, or the consequence of some yet undiscovered natural force, it captured the imagination of the public at the time, and it's continued to spark debate and speculation ever since. It's a reminder that the natural world still holds many mysteries, and that sometimes the most peculiar events can leave an indelible mark on the culture of a nation. And the meat shower wasn't the only instance of odd items falling from the sky. Here are a few more for good measure. Raining fish in 1889. In Honduras, fish were reportedly falling from the sky during heavy rainstorms. The phenomenon, known as l'alluvia de peces, happens periodically and is believed to be caused by waterspouts picking up fish from nearby bodies of water. Raining frogs in 2005. In Oakville, Washington, there were reports of frogs falling from the sky during a thunderstorm. Some experts believe that this could be the result of an updraft from a tornado or waterspout. Tunguska event, 1908. A massive explosion occurred near the Tunguska River in Siberia, believed to have been caused by an airburst of a meteor or a comet. No large debris was found, but the sky was filled with strange glowing effects, and the ground was scorched. The, quote, miracle of the sun in 1917. During a series of apparitions of the Virgin Mary in Fatima, Portugal, thousands of people reported that the sun appeared to fall from the sky in a series of strange movements, which was later described as solar phenomena. Ball lightning. Ball lightning is a rare and poorly understood phenomena where spherical glowing objects are observed floating or moving through the sky. Some instances have involved these objects falling or appearing to descend towards the ground. Sky jelly, 1965. In 1965, a strange gelatinous substance fell from the sky in the United States, particularly in Oakville, Washington. It was a translucent goo-like material that puzzled scientists. Speculation ranged from it being biological to extraterrestrial in origin. Raining blood, 2001. In Kerala, India, red rain fell from the sky for several weeks in 2001. Some believe that the rain was caused by algae, while others thought it may have been the result of dust from a nearby meteorite or a volcanic eruption. The falling toads of England, 2016. In England, an unusual phenomena occurred where toads seemed to fall from the sky. The event, again, likely involved a tornado or waterspout lifting the amphibians from the ground and depositing them several miles away. Skyquakes and raining sand. This occurred in multiple locations. Strange noises described as skyquakes have been reported in various places around the world. Alongside this, sometimes a strange gritty sand or dust falls from the sky, possibly connected to seismic or meteorological activities. Shower of wheat, 1952. In Virginia, USA, a shower of weak kernels rained down from the sky after a heavy storm. Some believed it was from a passing plane or debris in the air, but no clear source was found. Falling eyeballs, 1841. In the town of Olney, England, a report was made that numerous eyeballs of fish species had fallen from the sky after a particularly violent storm. Though it's unclear if it was a local phenomenon or an over-exaggeration, it's still recorded in local history. Unfortunately, no instances of lemon or gumdrops. It's advisable that if you encounter an odd rain, you not stand outside with your mouth open. That's it for this week, dear listeners. Tune in next time for more tales of the creepy, weird, and paranormal. Until then, stay spooky. The Identity Podcast is brought to you by host Janine Mercer. The podcast is written and edited by Janine Mercer unless otherwise stated, and the music is created using GarageBand. A transcript of this episode can be found at theidentitypodcast.wordpress.com. Don't forget to share this podcast with your friends, leave a review, and subscribe so that you'll be in the know when a new episode drops.